Our video will introduce the relationship between GDP and three factors, which are agriculture, industry, and service. The general trend of the percentage of agriculture in GDP for countries around the world is decreasing as time goes by. However, the percentage of industry in GDP fluctuates, in which there is no general trend such as increasing or decreasing but alternates between rising and declining. And the general trend of percentage of services in GDP is increasing rapidly. We chose three developed countries, three developing countries, and three undeveloped countries to analyze. Firstly, for the developed countries, as the primary sector, the percentage of agriculture and GDP for United States, United Kingdom, as well as Germany are extremely low. In the 1990s, the percentage was 1.48 for UK, 1.17 for Germany, and 1.38 for US. In recent years, the percentage dropped to 0.68 for UK, and 0.549 for Germany, and 1.33 for the United States. And the percentage of industry in GDP was relatively high compared to agriculture. As time went by, the percentage dropped rapidly in UK and Germany, but did not change a lot in the United States. The percentage of services in GDP increased rapidly. From the data, we can see that the slope is almost vertical, which indicates that the increase in percentage was dramatic. And then, for the developing countries, the percentage of agriculture in GDP was relatively high, but as technology improves, the percentage dropped from approximately 40% to 10%. For industry, its percentage in GDP almost keep placid without huge fluctuation. From the data, we can see that there is an increase in percentage of services in all three countries, starting from approximately 35% in 1960 to approximately 50% in 2014. Even though the increase was not as rapid as the developed countries, these developing countries are on their way of being developed.
Lastly, about the three undeveloped countries. When agriculture came about in these countries, its percentage in GDP was extremely high, especially in Rwanda, which started with a percentage of 75%. As time goes by, the percentage of agriculture dropped rapidly in these countries and ended up with a percentage of 20 to 30% in 2015. For industry, its percentage in GDP is always fluctuating. The change in percentage is constantly alternating between positive and negative. For service, its percentage in GDP is constantly increasing in Rwanda in a fast pace. However, in Nigeria, the percentage is fluctuating from 1981 to 2009, and in 2010 there was a rapid jump in percentage of service. And in Cambodia, the percentage of services in GDP stayed at approximately 40%. For the declination in the primary sector, the main reason is that less and less people do agriculture, which therefore means that there is a decrease in the employment in the primary sector. There are some reasons why the employment in the primary sector has decreased. Firstly, more and more people work in industry and service sectors. Because of the technological improvements, there are now mechanized equipment and processes which are added to agriculture, which therefore free more laborers from agriculture, such as machines. Secondly, industrialization has increased the demand laborers because of the increased demand for manufactured products, which have higher pay, greater profits, and also improve education. Thirdly, rural to urban migration has increased secondary and tertiary sector employment opportunities in towns and cities, which draw people away from rural places of primary sector production. Fourthly, environmental change. Human causes such as resource depletion or unsustainable practices, overfishing or deforestation. Natural causes such as land becomes less arable, flooding, extended drought, promotion of sustainability, and the main reason is that the environmental problem is industrialization. People's attitudes to primary sector jobs have changed, and they are now less attractive as they are seen as dirty and are physically demanding.